Jeet Kune, as I'm told, and I'm pretty sure this is wrong, has 3 bases in which it's built upon. Wing Chun, fencing, boxing. Okay? So we're gonna play with boxing here. And one of the things that we are gonna do is...
You don't play boxing.
Well, I'm gonna play boxing. I'm probably gonna die for it. But one thing that we have in Jeet Kune, by the way, if you ask your Alexa, who is Bruce Lee? You're welcome, everyone on the internet.
Yeah, I was just to say, all the Alexas just went.
You just heard Alexa called Jeet Kune, so you're welcome.
Jeet Kune.
Jeet Kune. But they have the Chung Choi. So you see the famous pictures of Bruce Lee on the Tao of Jeet Kune with the vertical fist. We're gonna play with the vertical fist and why you suck at it. When we're here, we see pictures of Bruce here, and he's just landing it like with that slant here, just like that. The big problem is like if he's got his good boxing, you know, that's not going to land generally. But you have to land it horizontally first, and then you can go vertically. But I think there's a lot more to it than that. What's your take on it?
So when you land it horizontally first, and they just start doing that tight guard, you've convinced them that this is okay, right? Like, I'm gonna try to jab, you're gonna block, that's gonna work, right? And then you don't change anything else, but you put that thing right through there like that. And it just slices through like butter.
Yeah.
And I think it subverts their expectations. And I think one big problem people have with it is they feel like it's not gonna be as powerful.
Right.
So maybe if you have a tip on how to make it more powerful.
Yeah, and I think the way, if we want to emulate Bruce, like I think many people want to.
I'm basically the same thing as Bruce Lee.
I mean, you're not wrong. The idea here is we want our whole body behind it, okay? The idea with it is like, just like you talked about in your 1-inch punch, is the 1-inch punch.
It's not this.
It's not this. It's my whole body into it. And if I can apply that in the actual strike, then I could put my whole body and structure behind it. And you don't need to, I can't lock this elbow out, you don't need to lock your arm out to do it skeletally. You just need your structure behind it.
And there's another thing, I think that the guys that are proponents of this, that they don't see, what they don't see, there's little invisible things. I would like you to show it from that angle.
Okay.
Right?
So,
when he does it, look what he did a lot of things that had nothing to do with this. He stepped a little, he moved a little, so he's pulling his head offline. If I'm firing at that same time, that can happen. If we were in an open stance situation and he steps out, he's getting that outside position with the footwork. Stepping, leaning, and I think the boxing guys are like, well, you don't lean back, you're not supposed to do that.
Right.
And then the Jeet Kune guys that are just maybe like thinking about this, they're not thinking about the footwork and the head movement. You have to have all those things in place to make stuff like this work.
that's a good point.
That's why I said it.
Oh, fair. I think, you know, one thing that I see is an over-reliance on it in the Jeet Kune world, where every punch is that, like the famous chain punch. Yes. Now, I'm going to get to that in a moment, because this is valid. This is valid. But there's a time and a place for it, just like everything. A big problem.
And it's college.
Yeah.
So, the problem that I have with this is that your elbow should be down. Like if you throw a traditional boxing jab, sometimes that elbow flares out, right?
Yeah, it's not supposed to until the last minute, but people do it.
People do it, right?
Yeah.
And I know I'm guilty, and I'll be like that and pump it out. But this being down the whole time leaves my face boom.
Definitely, you're definitely more protected to the body, but more open to the face because that shoulder's not coming up.
Right, exactly, because it can't. And like Wing Chun and Jeet Kune do the center line really well, where I'm protecting my center line, but not circular movements.
Not more.
Yeah, that I'm wide open for. So boom, that's why I think the time and the place is what really matters, and how you can get your Chung Choi to really punch is because is if he mentioned all the things that I'm doing, is I'm getting off on that line here to touch, so that way if that hand does come, just like you said, it's not gonna, I'm outside of it.
Or as you said in the beginning, if you throw regular jabs, like if you just jab some and make me do this instead of answering back, if you give me some real things to worry about, and I really have to worry about that, then you can, you got me. And that's funny about when we demo this is we know it's coming and we still get each other. Like it still happens. Did you ever see my video about lubing up the jab?
No.
Oh my God, I'm gonna give you a trick for your viewers. I've done a video on it, but it was a long time ago. When you get super duper sweaty, right? You take that glove right there and you rub it all over your forehead. And get all that sweat on it so that when they tighten that guard up, it slides right through there. We call that lubing up the jab.
Hot. So
now I will touch on this, and I've had it confirmed by a couple people that know what they're talking about with this vertical punch. There's an actual real world application of the 1-inch punch here that I like. Sometimes if they're smarter than the average bear, they'll clamp down on that arm. And this happens, especially scrubby. If everyone's amateur, you're trying to punch and your arm gets stuck in there, and this happens. Some people might cry foul. Maybe you're really good at boxing, and only sparring with people who are really good at boxing. But if you're beginner and intermediate, whether it's an uppercut that gets caught in there or a jab that gets caught in there, you've been caught in there before, and you just apply that same principle. You just load it up and fire with just the body, not retract the hand. Because once you get it in there, you do not. Once they let you put it in, you do not want to pull it out, right? So you do whatever you got to do to keep that thing in there, but then just apply more force like that. Don't pull it out once they let you put it in.
That's good advice. But
just generally.
But no, that's 100%. Because like you just did, it is applying all that 1-inch.
And it's not the most powerful punch in the world.
No, but it doesn't
it's not.
No, but it doesn't have to be. Because if that sets up that push, there it is. Where you can follow that through. That's super cool. Now, I did touch on it.
Kung Fu Master, confirmed.
Confirmed. Is the Chung Choi.
How do we do this?
So, if I like to think of it as like a bicycle chain, the chain is on top of each other. So, your elbows are in and it goes like this. Okay. Now, the timing and the placement of this is contextual, but when you do this, I want you to think about when you punch me, you're not aiming to hit and to like go through me, you're aiming to hit down like that. Like you hit and you're gonna push down on my chest. And the block, and now walk forward. It's very hard to deal with, even blocking. So if I do it to you here, where I'm coming in, it's hard to deal with.
So you have to, you think, well, you'll just get countered. Well, if they're countering you, maybe don't do this, one. But in that moment, like I thought, well, let me see what happens if I do uncover. And 3 of yours landed before this got there. Right?
It's cool.
And it's taking all the stank off of that. Do it again.
Sure.
I don't want to.
No. You don't want to deal with it. And plus, what is it doing? It's getting your hands up. Because you're trying to like either do that. So if I'm here and I'm pushing, I'll stop. Right there.
I think the hang up people have with stuff like this, I'll tell you exactly what it is. If you go to do that straight blast stuff and get wow! And they're like, see, it doesn't work.
Right.
I can show you videos of dudes getting whad doing regular boxing, like punching. Doing the normal stuff they're supposed to do. It's contextual. It matters. Like, I mean, maybe that guy was just better than you that day. All right.
It's there. His timing. Or lucky. Who knows? My instructor, Ron Balicki, he landed this in an amateur MMA fight in the 90s with another Gurdan person, Greg Nelson. And he tells a story.
Greg Nelson's the man.
Greg Nelson's awesome. So Ron and him had an amateur fight.
They fought each other?
Yeah.
That's like legendary.
I know. And there's just like glimpses of the fight on Instagram. Like Greg will share it, and I'm like, because like Ron would always talk about this fight. And I'm like, I want to see it. He goes, I don't have tape. I'm like, well, we found the tape. So at the end of it, it was declared a draw. But at the end of it, Ron is so tired, he's just like, F it. And then just starts
straight blast.
And Greg is 1 second behind on every hit.
Oh no.
And then he finally, and then bing on the ropes, and then it ends. And, you know, there are ways to block that punch.
I think, like I said, I think people get hung up on the possibility of it failing. There's a possibility of failure of every technique.
That's my biggest complaint is when I'll show a move in class And people will be like, well, what if I just do that? Well,
Then
yeah.
I would lose.
Then
You get me. Yeah.
Yes, and people don't realize that nothing's 100%.
Yeah.
Or hell, 60%. I mean, if I think, I don't know if it was you, somebody was saying, like, if I could show you a submission that would land 60% of the time.
Just throw it up every time.
Yeah, every time.
Throw it up constantly. You'll
Yeah.
win more matches than you lose.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
that's not the case because you're fighting another trained human. So that is the Chung Choi, boom, and also the Jeet Choi. Leave a comment if you've ever used any of this or you want more nonsense with the Chung Choi. That was good.
Yeah.
Boom, right there. Like the video so it'll help it out with the algorithm. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. Hit the bell notification so you never miss my or any other handsome face that I put on the channel. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Party on. Feet are okay right now. They're present.
Up those analytics, there's people that just
Yeah, there is. It's like feet. Just
I
just
mean,
feet.
but not
Show me
guy
your
feet. It's typically not guy feet. I'm
No,
sorry.
it is. Actually, I'm glad you feel that way. Just keep on thinking that way.
Yes.
Be innocent and, you know, I
I
don't
will
want that
stay
idea
away.
in your mind.
I will stay away from those.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, okay, I get it. Yeah, sometimes it is guy feet.
Yeah.